only stored there, if they're not returned and destroyed, then there would be no record of that with the city?
If they were not returned, there would be no record, that's correct. And without getting into specific claims, not every claim involves a settlement. There could be an investigation and there could be a denial of a claim. So we're kind of talking about a wide-ranging number of things that they could get involved in, but not every incident report or not every complaint against the city results in a settlement, of course.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Roll call.
Ms. Rose?
No.
Ms. Daniels?
No.
Ms. Winton?
Yes.
Mrs. Brandana?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson's excused, and Mr. Geis.
Yes. Motion passes 3-2. That brings us to open business, customary practice. Go to the elected officials and council. Any open business?
Chairman,
Council.
I had a couple things. I wanted to make a suggestion to the chairman, since you're responsible for the agenda. I can remember when we did consent agenda before,
Mm-hmm.
and it is very handy for some of the repetitive things we've all gotten, the information, the backup for things. But like, so for instance, for this agenda, I mean, I would expect things like the computer stuff, once we had all the backup and we learned about it, and then those kinds of things, the simple things would be in there. But like things like the Planning Commission report, I would like to see or hear a little bit about that. Certainly, a donation, I would not like for that to be in a consent agenda. I would like to celebrate that a little bit more. I just kind of remembered it a little bit differently, and you might too. You might have remembered it differently, and that's why we're doing it this way. But I just thought some of these things, like the animal shelter, or things that we need, like general business, not, that's just a suggestion I was thinking.
Yeah, and certainly the council secretary that we had before kind of got the ebb and flow of what the council wanted, and I know our current council secretary has reached out to them, so this is kind of reinventing the wheel. Certainly,
I like it though.
Giving that feedback, to our council secretary on things that either thought could have been on there or things that maybe shouldn't have been. You can give feedback
Right.
to her on these. I think when we were going through this, it was like the last agenda, there were some pretty clear-cut items, and this one, not so much. So
I thought it was you that did it, so I didn't know, but I just remember that from before. So it was really handy for those four were just ones that we learned about it, and we got our information.
Yep.
And then we would just pull the ones that we wanted to in the regular agenda, like Councilwoman Witten said about the Walmart, take it out or whatever. I think the consent agenda is good for moving the meeting along for sure, and I wasn't sure, what we were doing on that. And then I had a couple more questions, Chairman.
all right, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for doing that. Okay, so we're putting a lot of things, right on Telegraph there in a row, and we're planning on it. So I didn't see, are traffic studies done on every single one still? When we're making like a Sonic, and we already got the Dairy Queen, and sometimes that's backed up, and then what else is going there? A drink, like a smoothie place or something, right? Is that on Telegraph as well? Like, right,
That was,
it's gonna be like.
that was in the planning commission deck, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if we're having a smoothie place and then a Sonic and then a Dairy Queen, which are, might be, I just was wondering, I'm sure that we
I
do,
think
but.
anything usually with Telegraph requires, but I think it depends on, depending on the time. So if one did one within a year or something, they're able to use that. I mean, Laura would answer these questions better than me. But I think it depends on when the last traffic study, if it falls in within that time frame, they can use that traffic study. Charlie could probably answer better than me too, being on the planning commission. So I think that would kind of fall in that situation. I think that, they were talking about putting place right there by Walmart and stuff. I think they might have backed out, so I'm not positive on that, but the Sonic and stuff, so like, you know, especially with the approaches going in, that's one thing like MDOT's big on. When Buffalo Wild Wings went in, that turned into a whole thing because there was two at the time, and MDOT only wanted one. So luckily, there was a good compromise that was made there because that was getting a little hairy there for a while. So, yeah, Wayne County is definitely involved. A lot of times when we're talking about telegraph, MDOT's involved as well, too.
Yeah, sure, we want them, so that's
Mhm.
great. I just wondered that, I'm sure that it was
Yeah.
taken into consideration, but it seems like
Mhm.
they're all going right together, you know,
Mhm.
when we have. And then Chick-fil-A is,
Mhm.
like, all the Chick-fil-A's that I see are always so backed up.
Mhm.
So has that been working out okay?
Yeah, it's been great. I think, you know, one of the, you know, a lot of people were concerned about that, but the fact that there's more out there, you know, I mean, it's busy over there. I will say that, but I've never seen it backed out. You know, I don't go over there too often, but when I do, you know, it's usually pretty full, but I don't see it backed out into the parking lot or anything yet. And the way it was designed, that was the one thing, we didn't want any backup going on to Eureka Road. So if there is any backup, it would back up into the mall parking lot. So that was the good thing there. But, you know, they got a 2-lane drive-through. I think it can hold up to 50 to 60 some vehicles, and, you know, they get them through. It's pretty
Amazing.
impressive. It's a really nice facility if you've been inside it. So, you know, it's pretty impressive. So there's not been any issues that I'm aware of.
Okay, two more things I just, Telegraph, it's still really dark.
Mhm.
Is that gonna, you know, that part down by 94, is that gonna be happening soon?
Yeah, so they gave an update, and, you know, I know Carl posted on social media, DTE gave us an update the other day on when, like, certain sections are supposed to be done. So one I think is supposed to be done here soon, and, they got delayed a little bit. I think the hurricanes down in the southern and, you know, south United States kind of set them back a little bit, because I think they sent crews down there and stuff. So, I think the last update we got, they're supposed to be moving pretty quick, and I think this week, if they're not up yet, they're supposed to be, I think, is it what, Goddard to Wick is the next section, I think, or so.
Yeah, so it's actually, there was an update to
Yeah.
their website, so Telegraph between Goddard and Wick, all telegraph and median lights are functioning. Telegraph between Wick and Ecorse. Anyway, we've got the dates on the
Does
Facebook.
it say, like, within the next 2 weeks, a month?
Yeah, it looks like looks like all the there's a number of dates, November 15th, December 6th, but bottom line, I think their goal is to have everything complete by January 3rd.
Mhm.
Okay, great, thank you.
Certainly would have been probably nicer for them to do it, you know, in warmer months.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be putting those signs up in December, but, or those posts, but I have seen, you know, more progress. It appears, you know, your side of Telegraph,
Right.
that those are complete.
Through the chair, I did see them out there doing things today. I'm not quite sure what they were doing, but I did see the trucks out there directing traffic in different lanes and stuff.
And one of the